Disclaimer. This news event is purely fictional to promote the new rebuild series surrounding WSU football making a return. Breaking news out of the Midwest today. After years of rumor and speculation, word has finally arrived that an unnamed donor has made a substantial donation to the Wichita State Athletics Association to fund the return of the Wichita State football program. After many failed attempts at reviving the program, one of the most historic college football programs is back in action and will be led by student Austin Mengi. Mr. Mengi is excited to take charge of the program and bring the historic college football program back to life in Wichita. The existing stadium will be rebuilt from the ground up, with new sponsors to support larger crowds with anticipated growth of both athletic and educational facilities on campus. The fans' and students' prayers have finally been answered, and for Wichita State, the story of this historic program is not yet closed. I'm Ryan Best, and I'll have more information to come during our normal segment.
So, hello everyone. Just wanted to kind of give you the little press conference. We are now taking on head coach for Wichita State. It was a bit of a sudden journey. I am still very happy and very appreciative for the opportunity that I've been given in this circumstance. Here in a moment, we're going to jump straight to a press conference. I have several reporters ready with a couple questions for me. For introductions, my name's Austin. I will now be the new head coach for the brand new Wichita State Shockers football team. Your revival is back, and I am more amped than ever to hopefully bring a championship back to this wonderful city. All right, let's go ahead and get started with a couple reporters' questions here.
Hello, Austin. How are you doing today? I am with the GIC team, and I am asking you some questions for this interview. For the first question of the day, I'm going to ask you, what are your intentions with the program? As someone with your level of skill and your expertise in this subject, what do you think about this program and what it's going to do going forward for the future?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for the question and thanks for joining in. I'm very excited to get started on this. Wichita State football has been something that's been missed by fans, students, all alike for many years now. There have been many attempts to start it up, and I've just been caught at the most fortunate time to start up this event. I'm ready to take on this new program and hoping to lead it to somewhere great. I'm just ready for a recovery, and I'm ready for a great start to hopefully something that is absolutely beautiful and hopefully can bring joy back to campus once again.
What made you want to bring football back to WSU after being gone for so long? Everyone was stricken about the loss of the WSU football team when it went down all those years ago. What made you want to bring that back?
Great question. So, to me, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, collegiate sports is a very important thing to a lot of people. Now, I mean, obviously you can tune into almost any college game day and see the crowds that are there cheering for their school. I mean, and if you look at it as a whole, college football stadiums have more total capacity and seats available than most NFL stadiums today, which I feel like speaks dividends when it comes to just the urge and want for a football team on campus. Now, this has been something that students at Wichita State have been wanting for a while, and it just hasn't been a very attainable thing. And again, I feel like I've just been caught at the most fortunate time possible to bring something so great back to this town. I mean, a lot of people will want to go to like college game days and such for their own college sports. K-State, KU especially KU has turned into a massive football school as of recently. So K-State has been for several years, KU is on the rise, and now it's time to add yet another phenomenal collegiate football team to Kansas that can hopefully, after a couple of years, ramp up to be competing on the same level, if not better, than both of those other schools.
What prior experience do you have with leading? What made you stand out as their clear-cut candidate for this opportunity? Anybody could pick up that mantle, but why do you think you should be able to succeed in the position you are in?
So that's a great question, and if I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know. I feel like I was just very fortunately picked out of a crowd for something of this sort. I don't have many leadership credentials when it comes to especially a sporting aspect like this in the past. I mean, probably the most leadership experience I have is working in a retail store. After that, I don't have many leadership credentials when it comes to sports. I'm not quite sure. I'm just more fortunate than ever, and I could not be happier with the outcome.
That's all the time we have. Thank you so much for your time, Austin Minge, and I hope you have a fantastic day.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time, and we will now go ahead and jump to the next report.
Hello, my name is Omar Rodriguez, and I am from EA Sports Media, and I have a couple questions to ask for you. What does Wichita State mean to you?
It means a good amount. I mean, obviously, I'm still a student attending this school. To me, it was one of the more logical options for pursuing the degree that I am. It just provided a lot of opportunity. It was a nice campus, nice safe location, and it gave you plenty of opportunities for future endeavors and future careers. Now, the one downside that I kind of acknowledged early on before I had even started to attend Wichita State was there was no football program. I think the most popular collegiate sport in America, if not maybe the most popular sport in America overall, across all types of different sports. So in my eyes, with the base and ground floor that we can start to build up from on this campus, it was already a phenomenal pick from the beginning, and adding on a football program to this can hopefully make this campus even better in the future.
What can we expect as soon as you step onto the field?
Well, I'm going to do my best to bring results early on, but ultimately, if you take a step back and look at it and try and see it from a realistic view, I think we can all agree this is going to be a rebuild that takes some time to achieve. I step on the field, nothing but aggression and trying to force everything that I can out there. Hard attacking offense, very risky plays. I have an addiction to going for it on fourth down. You're going to notice that pretty well. Will it work out for me? Only time will tell. Defense, I like to run a lockdown system, especially when it comes to a lot of zone coverage. Man, I will only feel comfortable about it once I feel like we have a very solid base of recruits around us to build upon and hopefully work forward in the future. Now, I want to thank you for your time, Omar, real quick, and we'll go ahead and move on to the next reporter.
Hello, Austin. My name is Kieran Marker from CNN, the Cringy News Network. I'd like to ask you a few questions about the return of Wichita State football.
The last game being played in 1986, I know that recruiting has been tough for you. Can you describe what that's been like?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was kind of sudden, and it jumped into a world of, who's actually going to want to play on this team. Recruiting season was already pretty deep in, so we weren't able to pull in a lot of people to join us. We did have one very standout wide receiver, Jet Moore. He's probably going to be our heart and soul of the team, at least until he graduates or decides to go on to the NFL. After that, it's going to be just a lot of people who are willing to walk on and start off the season pretty rough. And then, of course, we're going to be putting a lot of time into recruiting more people to joining our cause, joining our school, and ramping up a program with the hopes of bringing it back to glory and bringing it back to its former pride and former success that it was seeing back in its glory days.
This question I have for you, Austin, is what does the history of the Wichita State football program mean to you specifically?
So, this is a very historic program. If I'm not incorrect, I believe this was the school that ran an experimental game in the early 1900s, maybe 1905, that was credited with the first forward pass in football. So obviously there are some very monumental achievements with this college, even way back when it was named Fairmount Colleges. Now, this is going to be a lot of this rebuild, and a lot of bringing this football program back is going to be in honor of its past and dedicated towards remembering the events that occurred, but also bringing success. We're just looking to push forward from that, remember them in our hearts, and ensure we have a continuously successful football program to make them proud and also make our fans proud. This is a college that actually had a very close overall record in its time. It was a near 500 flat team on win-loss rate, which, even though it hasn't played a game in nearly 4 decades, still has a better overall win-loss and a higher average of wins than KU and K-State. So for the surrounding colleges, we have pretty good stats. But then again, we are building off of a team that's been gone from us for 40 years. So the startup's going to be rough, but we are building forward from that. I just wanted to thank you for joining us real quick, Kieran. We're going to go ahead and jump to the next gentleman.
Hey, this is Matt Raymond, Gridiron Glory News. With being a first-time coach to a brand new football program, how do we know that you understand how to operate a professional sports organization?
Now, that is a very great question. If I'm going to be honest, like a lot of other things in life, it's going to be a very big learning experience on the job. I mean, I can stand and prance around as much as I want to saying, yes, I understand football. I have hours of Madden time on the Xbox and everything, but that's not going to compare to when I'm actually working on building a real life team in this instance and building up a foundation for something greater. Point in case, it's going to be a massive learning experience. I'll be learning the operations, trying to get as much help from perhaps other experienced individuals as I can, while also trying to do the best that I can to make sure this team performs and makes our fans, students, and our city proud.
What made you want to bring football back to WSU?
A lot of that is going to be continuing its legacy and continuing the history of this phenomenal college and this phenomenal sport that it used to be a massive part of. Now, since the team was disbanded in 1986, I believe it was, a lot of my motivation is just to bring this massive sport back to this amazing college. Shocker football was a massive thing back when it was. We ultimately just want to bring this program back and make our city, make our school, make our students proud yet again. We want to be back on that competitive stage, back on the forefront. It carries a lot of history with it, being very dominant in its early ages, and then also having its lows in its early ages, as all teams do. It is going to be a very slow starting road, so the only thing I can say is I welcome you for this journey, and I'm very excited to get started and bringing this team back to glory. And I believe that was the final question from Mr. Rains over there. I wanted to thank you guys also very much for joining me in this quick press conference. Now the business will begin. I want to thank you, and let's make the Shockers great again.
Breaking news! Spider-Man! Breaking news today in the Midwest. After years of rumor and speculation, word has arrived that an unnamed donor has made a substantial donation to Wichita State Athletics. Eat it, dirtbag! I'm J. Jonah Jameson, and I'll have more information to come. I'm Big Balls McGee, and I'll have more information to come during our normal segment. Oh, dude, I want to become a voice actor.